Imagine traveling at the speed of light, a mind-bending 186,000 miles per second. Now imagine traveling at that exact speed for 330 million years and seeing absolutely nothing. No stars, no planets, just an endless, suffocating darkness. Welcome to the Boötes Void, the most terrifying anomaly in the known cosmos. It's a place that shouldn't exist, yet it does. I'm your host, and you're watching Astro Trivia. If you love exploring the universe's greatest mysteries, take a quick second to subscribe and join our journey. Now, buckle up, because we are diving straight into the abyss. The year was 1981. Astronomer Robert Kirshner and his team were surveying galaxies, mapping out the large-scale structure of the universe. They were expecting to find the usual cosmic scenery: clusters of galaxies, glowing dust clouds, the familiar tapestry of the night sky. Instead, what they found was a chilling blank space. They had stumbled upon the Boötes Void, named after the constellation it resides in. But void almost feels like an understatement. Let's talk scale, because the human brain really isn't wired to comprehend this kind of emptiness. The Boötes Void is a spherical region of space that stretches roughly 330 million light-years in diameter. To put that in perspective, our entire Milky Way galaxy is about 100,000 light-years across. You could fit over 3,000 Milky Way galaxies line to line across the diameter of this void. It is so unimaginably vast that it takes up roughly 0.27% of the entire observable universe. That might sound like a tiny fraction, but in cosmic terms, it's a colossal chunk of missing real estate. To truly grasp the isolating horror of this place, consider this famous perspective. If our Milky Way galaxy were placed dead center in the middle of the Boötes Void, we wouldn't have even known that other galaxies existed until the 1960s. For nearly all of human history, as we looked up at the night sky, our most powerful telescopes would have seen nothing but a black, starless ocean beyond our own galaxy's edge. We would have thought we were completely, utterly alone in the universe. But the sheer size of this void isn't what keeps astrophysicists awake at night. It's the fact that, according to everything we know about how the universe works, this giant pocket of nothingness simply shouldn't be there. To understand why the Boötes Void is so baffling, you first have to understand what the universe actually looks like on a grand scale. It is not just a random scattering of stars and planets. If you zoom out far enough, matter forms a structure known as the cosmic web. Think of a three-dimensional spider web made of glowing threads. These threads are massive filaments of dark matter and gas, and strung along them are millions of galaxies. Where these filaments intersect, you get bright, dense nodes called superclusters. And the dark, empty spaces between those threads, those are the voids. Voids are a completely normal part of cosmic architecture. However, the math behind the Boötes Void absolutely does not add up. Based on the density of the observable universe, a region of space spanning 330 million light-years should be teeming with life and activity. Astronomers calculate that there should be anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 galaxies shining brightly within that area. So how many have we actually found? Around 60. That's it. 60 isolated, lonely galaxies drifting in an ocean of pitch black. It is the cosmic equivalent of walking into a bustling, packed football stadium and finding only 3 people sitting in the bleachers. But the missing matter is only half the nightmare. The real issue is the problem of time. According to the standard cosmological models accepted by modern physics, there simply hasn't been enough time since the Big Bang for a void of this unbelievable magnitude to form. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old. Voids grow as the gravitational pull from the dense filaments draws matter outward over eons. But creating a whole 330 million light-years in just 13.8 billion years? Physics says it's impossible. It's like watching a glacier move at the speed of a sports car. Something, or someone, had to have cleared that space. So if gravity and time alone can't explain this massive, terrifying dead zone, what on Earth, or rather, what in the universe can? Let's look at the best theories we have. So how do astrophysicists attempt to explain this massive hole in our universe? The most widely accepted natural explanation is often called the soap bubble theory. Imagine you are blowing bubbles in a sink full of soapy water. Smaller bubbles frequently collide and merge to form much larger ones. In the cosmic web, smaller voids, which are naturally occurring lower density regions of space, might have crashed into one another over billions of years. As these smaller voids merged, they created a singular, gargantuan supervoid. Add to this the relentless, invisible force known as dark energy. Dark energy is the mysterious engine driving the accelerated expansion of the universe. It acts like a cosmic repellent, pushing matter away from these empty pockets and concentrating it along those dense filaments we talked about earlier. Over time, the void expands, pushing the remaining galaxies closer to the edges, sweeping the center clear like a giant cosmic broom. It sounds like a solid, logical explanation, doesn't it? Well, there is a massive, glaring issue. Even if smaller voids merged while dark energy pushed the universe apart, the math still does not align with the strict timeline of the cosmos. As we touched on earlier, a 330 million light-year void would require significantly more time to form than the 13.8 billion years our universe has been in existence. If the soap bubble theory is correct, it would be the equivalent of watching a handful of tiny ripples in a pond combine to form a 100-foot tidal wave in a matter of seconds. The physical mechanism might make sense in theory, but the sheer speed required to clear out that much space is simply baffling. This leaves the scientific community with a very uncomfortable realization. Either our fundamental understanding of how the universe evolved is missing a massive piece of the puzzle, or something else, something completely unprecedented, is responsible for the Boötes Void. And when standard physics hits a wall, scientists and theorists occasionally dare to look beyond natural phenomena. They begin to ask a question that sounds like pure science fiction, but one that perfectly fits the anomaly we are looking at. What if the Boötes Void isn't actually empty at all? What if, instead of missing galaxies, we are simply looking at galaxies that have gone dark? This brings us to a terrifying yet fascinating hypothesis. The Boötes Void could be the footprint of a Type 3 civilization. To understand this, we need to look at the Kardashev scale, a method proposed by Soviet astronomer Nikolai Kardashev in 1964 to measure a civilization's level of technological advancement based on the amount of energy they are able to utilize. A Type 1 civilization can harness all the energy of its home planet. A Type 2 can harness the entire energy output of its star, often theorized to be done using a megastructure called the Dyson sphere, a colossal shell built completely around a star to capture all of its solar power. But a Type 3 civilization? That is an empire operating on a truly galactic scale. A civilization this incredibly advanced would possess the capability to traverse interstellar space, systematically harnessing the energy of not just one star, but billions of stars across an entire galaxy. Now, imagine a Type 3 civilization that didn't just stop at one galaxy. Imagine an apex empire driven by an insatiable, exponentially growing need for energy, relentlessly expanding outward across the cosmic web over hundreds of millions of years. As they conquer neighboring galaxies, they construct Dyson spheres around every single star, plunging entire star systems and eventually whole galaxies into absolute darkness. From the perspective of an outside observer, like us looking through our telescopes here on Earth, these galaxies wouldn't suddenly disappear from physical existence. They would just stop emitting visible light. They would fade to completely black, perfectly creating the illusion of a massive empty void in space. If the Boötes Void is actually the result of an expanding energy-harvesting empire, it would perfectly explain why the region is so phenomenally vast and almost perfectly spherical. It represents the expanding perimeter of a hyper-advanced civilization radiating outward from a single central point, systematically turning out the lights of the universe, one star at a time. It is a profoundly chilling thought, a quiet, invisible empire slowly devouring the light of thousands of galaxies.
Are we witnessing a bizarre quirk of cosmic evolution, or the expanding shadow of an ancient galactic empire? The Boötes Void remains one of the haunting mysteries in the night sky, a stark reminder of how little we truly understand about the vastness of space. What do you think is hiding in that darkness? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for exploring the unknown with Astro Trivia. If you enjoyed this journey, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next cosmic deep dive. Stay curious and keep looking up.